Hey folks, welcome back to the Dyson Sphere program. So last time we finished up all the precursors for our Dyson Sphere component factory, which we will need to build today. And then it's on to the next step, the small carrier rockets, which is going to be our biggest, most ambitious project yet. Just to give you a hint, we're going to need about 15,000 hydrogen per minute for that build, which is kind of insane. Let's head over to, let's see, where do we have building space? We've used up quite a lot of the dark side. There's a stretch here that we could use. So we probably come up here to build our actual factories that produce the Dyson Sphere components. Let's get started. So, I've done the math. We need 72 manufacturers producing these components. Let's see. We can squeeze one in here, I think. We're going to start with one of our existing blueprints and convert it over and then copy that a few times. So, we'll go into tower builds and we'll pick out, let's say... Now, I'm not sure if this will work because the inputs here for this require 3 sources, I think, and everything we've built up till now requires 2. So, the Dyson Sphere component, yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a problem. We might have to redesign this. So, let's see what we can make happen. I think we still start from a blueprint and then adjust. Let's get out circuit board 30 here. And it'll need to be a little bit wider. So which way do I want to build it? I think we want to build it this way. And squeeze it in like this to start. Do I want to do it this way? I don't think I do. I think I want to build it... Well, this will help. All right, let's get this down. No, we'll leave you on for now. Okay, I'm obviously going to need more belts. So the input lines can remain the same. It's the output lines that are going to have to change. Because we're going to need a third line of inputs here. And that means a lot of things are going to have to move south. Like this is going to have to move south by 1. This is going to have to move more north by 1. So why don't we just delete these? You'll have to be changed as well. Let's come over here. Let's see. So we need to move the power as well as, yeah, the input lines are going to have to change their orientation as well. They'll have to go out a little bit further, actually. So we'll have to end them there. But we can reuse some of this as a starting point. Okay. So here's our first 14. We are going to need to move this thing as well. It'd be nice if you could pick up a whole thing and move it. But you can't. So we'll do the recipe here. This is going to be changed to making Dyson Sphere components. Okay, let's turn off alarms for a second so we can make sure we get all these. Okay, that's a good start. Their output lines are fine. It's 3 of each, so it doesn't really matter the order here. This is going to be changed to... Let's clear you, clear you, clear you. you're going to request, what is the components? We need frame material, solar cells, and processors. Okay, solar cells, frame material, and processors. Let's give you a decent buffer here. I mean, we're going to need a fair amount. So we're going to have 30 producers. Oh, we're going to need a lot of these. 30 producers doing, let's see, what is 8 seconds going to 60? 8 times 7.5 recipes per minute. So, so 7.5 recipes gets you 22.5 times 30 is 225, 675 inputs per minute for 30. So like a 1,000, a limit of 1,000 is fine. That's a little bit more than they actually need, but let's demand those. Now, why aren't the solar sails coming in? We should have an abundance of those. We'll have to check up on that in a minute. But we're going to need a third line on each side. And you're going to be all three, so we'll do solar sails, frame material, processors. And these should all be proliferated already. Not sure why the solar sails aren't arriving. Oh, we may have a bottleneck there with the graphene. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to check on that. Let's go solar sails, frame material, and I need to build the third one before I can set the filter. You'll be processors, right? Okay. Let's delete these so that I don't have to manually fiddle with the inputs. Let's do, okay, there comes some solar sails. We'll have to check on that because I don't want the swarm to die. All right, there's your third input. So we're gonna get you down to here now. Is that lined up correctly? Yeah. Wait, is it? Yeah, okay, it is. All right. These are going to have to come a little bit further. That's wrong. All right, so let's get our 7th on here. And then these guys need to turn around and move inward. And we need to leave room for the 15th one here. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you start heading back, I believe. Let's get you coming from there. See if we can make this happen. And then you come around like this. Right? So then we get one of these. I want to rotate it like that. I've done it a little bit too... Looks like I've done it a little bit wrong here. And where's your output going to be? Oh, why don't you have any outputs? Actually, you need to be custom. Oh, we're going to have a problem with its output, aren't we? It's not going to be able to reach 4. We're going to have to come, like, up and over back behind. Okay. So if you're here... Yeah, the line can come like this now. I will actually take this here and use it. Then we'll have to figure out the output in a second. Not sure what happened to their outputs. Why they didn't get copied. I didn't have them? Okay. Well, let's keep working. So there's you've got your 3 inputs, you've got your recipe. Here comes your output. Now we get 7 of you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now the output line has to come around and out, which means we're gonna have trouble with the output for all of these because they can't really do a 4 across. So we're gonna have to get a little creative here. How are we gonna do the output line here? Maybe we do need one more, and then it just hops over and connects up. I think we do need one more line here. Oh, now wait a minute. I might be able to change this design. Hang on a minute. Let me see about doing this slightly differently. So if we stagger them, we can do it slightly differently, right? I could do it like that. And then for the 15th one, we just pop it on the end. So like if you're there and your output line comes around and is going to join up over here somewhere. And then we have one extra length of this here, like so. Then I throw down a machine here like this. Do I have room there? No, I don't. I need one more length on these. So this comes to here. And our inputs go in right there. So 1, 2, 3. It won't work. It doesn't like it for some reason. Why not? What do you not like? What if I move you back even one further? Then does the angle kind of work out? Let's see. Yeah, it'll accept that. Okay. So then the output comes around behind. This thing's causing me problems right now. Let me move this. What's not powered now? What was that powering that is no longer powered? Anything? These machines right here. Okay. Let me put that back down for a second. So we want to make these powered, but we want to avoid taking up space. Okay. So you grab the recipe. Then we have this come along behind and join up with the input, with the output line. Then we can do your output, like so. And then we can come over here. And as long as you've got your inputs and your outputs, you should be fine as well. Did all these guys get their... All these guys got their outputs, yeah, okay. So we need 6 more of you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That looks like that'll work. Nope, hold on, something went wrong. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 7th one's having problems. What's the problem here? Where it would normally grab, I'm pulling for this guy. So this needs to come out further. By 1. Okay, I think we're getting the design here for this to work. Copy, paste. Let's pull in your goodies. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, should be able to copy and paste you right there. Looks good. Okay. Now we'll do the output line connection, which will come around behind like this. Join up there. We can do your output. Okay. So that's a line of 15. And I think the best thing to do is to copy it. I probably should have moved this left instead of right, but the way the sorters are lined up kind of worked out fine. So I think we just fix up the inputs here and then continue onwards. It's not that many, so we'll just do it. And then we need it on the other side as well. Right? This is going to have to come out quite a bit more. So it's a longer build, but it does get me what I want, which is 15 manufacturers. So you guys are coming up to this line. Okay. Now we come over to the other side. Copy and paste you, rotate you, move you forward by 1. Set up your output line. You come somewhere around there. Get your output set up, and then copy you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now we copy you over like this. Fix up the output line. Okay, give you an output, and I think now we have it. That should be, yeah, that's 15 with 3 inputs, right? Okay, so we're gonna save this blueprint as, I guess, Dyson Sphere Component 30, or DSC 30, and the actual output with proliferated inputs should be more. The solar sails aren't proliferated? Oh boy, that's a problem. All right, we definitely had some problems with, we have some problems with the solar cells. I'm not sure what's going on there. We need to go check in on that. So this would be DSC 30. It would normally put out 7.5 times 30. But we're going to multiply that by 1.25. So 281.25. All right. Let me get this blueprint saved. I don't know if we... you know what? We've got this on the tropic line, which is not great. Let's grab everything under the tropic line and refactor this blueprint. So let's grab this. We'll call this Tower Builds. DSC 30, and then in parentheses, what was the number I came up with? 281.25? 281.25, all right. Give it a name, put the icon on it. Dyson Sphere Components. Outputs. 281.25 Dyson Sphere Components. And then inputs are... it should be... Let's see, it's 7.5 recipes per minute times 30 times 3. 675 each of solar sail, processor, and frame material. So there's our starter blueprint. Right there. Okay. Let's now delete all of this and rebuild it so we're not on the tropic line. All right. So if I fire this down now, let's move it as far south as we can without like actually touching anything. I think right there we can squeeze it in real close. That's good. Okay, that'll build. Then we'll put the tower back and fix up the blueprint, and then we'll have it. We're gonna have to find out what's going on with my solar sails. We have a lot. We'll also add in power and such. I guess I could do the proliferation here. I'm not sure. I guess the ones that are being fired into the sun don't actually need to be proliferated, do they? So maybe it makes sense to do the proliferation here. All right, so let's get our tower down now. So we want it as close as possible without being on the line. That avoids the line. Okay. So then these are my inputs. Output from the machines. Here's the inputs for these materials. And then we just, yeah, we can just throw down, because these are the lines. So we can throw down some more stuff here. Some more proliferator here. Okay. So if we say these are going to be solar sails, and then we'll proliferate. So the inside line will be solar sails and we'll proliferate them. Right here like this. Looks good. I have one random conveyor belt here. Let's get the other side hooked up. Dyson Sphere Stress System 3. Who approved this? Unlock technology to make the latitude of the Dyson Sphere nodes reach 45 degrees. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3. We will proliferate the sails. Like so. Okay. Let's set our limit. So let's do solar sails, processors. We can turn these to demand at the last second to turn it on. And then we need the frame material. And then our output is going to be Dyson Sphere Components. We don't need like a huge, massive number of those. Well, I don't know actually what we need. We'll set this at 3,000. That's the usual. Let's fill this in. Okay. So we're starting to head towards... I can actually... let's get the proliferator setup done. You're going to be right in there. Let's dump all this extra in here so that we don't actually request it. Let's get, or waste it rather. Let's connect you up. Oh, I've done it sideways, unfortunately. Okay, solar sphere proliferator requester. Need to be facing that way. Oops. Misclick there. Looks good. All right, let's get you hooked up. It's gonna get a bunch of extra to start, but that's okay. All right, so you're going to be solar sails, then processors, then frame material, solar sails, processors, frame material. I think we're good. I think we add in the power as part of the blueprint. So like, let's say we did something like this. That covers a good chunk of the left. And then two more, well, let's see, two more like that. Should cover everything else. And I think that's our blueprint. I think that's the whole thing. The last thing to do would be to allow the inputs and kick it off and see if it all works. But let's copy the updates here. Let's go to tower builds. This is going to be this blueprint. Okay. So let's see if we can get it all. We'll grab you guys. Then we'll grab everything else. Oop, hold on. Let me... I don't want any of that. Oh, who earns? That stunk. There we go. We can get the rest of this. And then all the way down to here. I think that's it. Like the blue like square is here, but it hasn't actually, like if I zoom in and click that, it's now the lighter blue, and then I unclick it. Okay, I think we've got it here. Save blueprint. There we go. I think that's right. So realistically, if we turn these to supply, this should start working. Or demand, rather. We do have some kind of problem with the solar sails not coming in, but I can supply them actually. Like that. There we go. Okay. Let's take a look. Yep, we're producing Dyson Sphere Components. I don't see any errors or alarms. Everything's flowing in. All 30 manufacturers are at work. So this took me 30 minutes to build, but the good news is we can now build the other two very quickly. So let's get a second one down. We need 72 of these, so that's 2 full ones and then a partial third. Let's set down the next one, get it built. Where can I squeeze you in? Where are you going to be allowed? Right there. Looks good. There's our second set of 30. Now we do have problems with our solar sail, which I'm going to have to go hunt down. Just gonna sit here for a minute while it builds up. How am I doing for things like... Oh, I actually picked up some of the components here. Let's see, you I can get rid of. I don't need you. But yeah, these we'll go ahead and stuff in here for somebody else to have in the future. I'm okay on belts, but not quite 100%. So that's 60 of these things. Looks like I'm low on pile sorters, I think. Store 600 out there. Get those set up. Okay, so your problem is you're not getting inputs yet. So I turn you on and they start to arrive. Well, the processors and the frames, but not the solar cells. We were making 2,160 solar cells per minute and only using a quarter of them. So there's got to be some kind of bottleneck. I think it's the graphene. I think we've stored up a giant tank of deuterium now, or the tower's full of deuterium. So where are my solar cell production? Let's see. Over here, we're making graphene and deuterium. These are being turned into carbon nanotubes. Solar cells over here. Let's go check out what's going on. Okay. So you're not working because you don't have graphene, right? Yeah. That's about right. And all these graphene guys aren't working because of product overflow, because all of the deuterium has backed up. So if we just dump out the deuterium, if we just delete it, we should turn this back on for a while. Let me see if I can figure out where that's happening. So all the deuterium output is on this line, which comes over to here and is backed up, comes down here. Comes all the way down here and then feeds into this tower, right? Okay. So much as it pains me, we're going to have to delete these 5,000 deuterium. We'll be needing a lot of deuterium later, so we'll have a use for that, for sure. But as the line starts to free up, I would think we start to see some of the fractionators are starting and some of them are locked. So what is the problem with this? So what's your problem? Product overflow. And it's not deuterium. You can't output hydrogen, huh? So I guess when these get blocked, there's a chance that like I have to come around and restart them manually, which is a little bit off-putting. To think that I'd have to go and do this for every single one of these rings. Yeah, that's a little troubling. I wonder if one more pile sorter right on the output would work to like fix it up. Because look, every single one of these rings is locked. And there's so many of them. Why are you... What is your problem? Oh, you're actually not connected. That's a that's a real problem. Okay. Oh, man. Well, this is the life I chose. You're not connected either. Nor are you. Okay, we've had a real problem here for a while. Yeah, a lot of these I messed up. Where are you appearing? You're appearing at Clement Star? Alright. Oh boy. Yeah, some of these are pretty bad. Oh, there was a part of an episode where I was doing that. I must have just missed a row, I think. Let's look for anybody else who stopped. Interesting that it doesn't show alarms. I think that's everybody. So you're flowing, you're flowing. It's hard, like it's such a big area, it's hard to tell. You're flowing. Now I gotta go through all 100 of these and look, which is annoying. But the good news is it should get us our solar sails flowing back over at the other thing. You're not going anywhere. Why is that? Okay. You were stuck. So were you. I would love if there was some way to, like, program something. So, like, if we put an alarm on here and only when the alarm is activated, remove a handful of, like, you know what I mean? Like, take a couple off. See if that restarts it. Okay, that's everything flowing again. I don't see any alarms anymore. And we fixed a couple belts there, but they're gonna produce a lot of deuterium very quickly. Which is sort of why I had the idea, like, look, this is already full. I think we do need a tank here just to be able to keep this running so that we can... Like, this is already full, the line's backing up again. So look, these are already shutting down. As painful as it is, I think until we're ready to actually use this deuterium, we have to... Well, I guess that's the next thing we're going to work on, so it's fine. But these are going to be not producing that much for a while. I guess there's nothing I can do about that. If we fly back over to... Now, where I need to finish up my production that I started today. Where was that? I think it's these over here. Yeah, these over here. Okay. Seems whatever that relay was handled, so that's fine. So you guys are making... You're full. You're making these things. That's fine. Okay, so I need one more here that I then chop up, carve up, turn into just, like, less than half of one. So in terms of space on the planet, it doesn't really matter where we do it. I guess I can turn it sideways and stick it in here. Let's put one down here. So it's tower builds, DSC 30. I want to turn you sideways and build you like this, I think. It's saying the power thing is colliding. Which I would be fine with. Collide with other object. What are you colliding with? All right, let me temporarily hide these veins. Use the bury feature to bury at least 20 veins. Okay, we'll bring them back in a minute. Where are you? So now I should be able to fit you in here, I think. No, it still doesn't like that. What is it complaining about colliding with? Oh, I think maybe the power thing can't be that close to the other thing. That's fine. I think we shift enter this and then I fix it up. Yeah, like there wasn't enough room for it. But that's fine because we're going to delete one of these lines entirely anyway. So now we do a little bit of custom deleting. You're gone and you're gone. So you would have been A logistics distributor requesting proliferator. There's the annihilation constraint thingamajig. Not the splitter, you're limited to 1. Okay, that's fine. And then I only need 12 of these, not 15, so we can delete these last 3 as well. And that should be the last 12 that we need. The power sphere there and the one we have over here are covering everything. Realistically, this whole thing should be a little bit closer, but I guess it's fine. Now we can unbury these veins. So if we need kimberlite, there it is. And then we just set your demands. We're still having... Yeah, there's still not enough throughput on the solar sails. I don't even know how some of them are still going. I guess it's getting the graphene it needs from somewhere else. Yeah, we must be impinging on the network's graphene demand, because all the graphene producers we set up are currently not working because they're deuterium backed up. So we must be getting graphene from somewhere else, because we are still producing solar sails for the... Because they're still firing off, right? Yeah, see, they're still firing off over here. So, all right. Let's take a look at the grid. We've got 590 megawatts, barely using less than half of that. So we're good with our power. And now we've got our delightful Dyson Sphere components set up. So the last thing I'll show you before I end this episode is is the next diagram. Let me see. Hang on a second. I gotta get this queued up. Small carrier rocket. There it is. And then let's put it in full screen. Okay. So this is our kind of next big project. And it is a big boy. So ideally, what I'm trying to make here is 420 small carrier rockets per minute. And the reason I chose that number is not because I'm a pothead, but because we're producing exactly enough frame material for that, or Dyson Sphere components for that. So if we go over to Dyson Sphere Components, where is it? Should be a raw input. Yeah, here we go. 672 Dyson Sphere components. That's what we're producing with those 72 manufacturers that we just put together, that consumes the exact number of solar sails, processors, and frame material that we accounted for. So once you account for proliferation, we're making actually 675 Dyson Sphere components per minute. So this is the input that we need to produce 420 small carrier rockets per minute. But to get there, we're going to need, we're also going to need 1,344 deuteron fuel rods, 672 quantum chips. So there's a lot of work to do, and we're going to need an absolute astonishing amount of hydrogen. Look at this. Raw numbers are like almost 1,850 hydrogen per minute. Some of it turned into deuterium, some of it into hydrogen. Now, we already have some of that deuterium, but I did the math, and we're going to need to import almost 1,500 hydrogen per minute. So, like 8,000 or some 7,000 of that goes into deuterium production, and another 7,500 goes into Casimir crystals. So the maximum amount of raw hydrogen we can get from our local gas giant is 6,000 per minute, and that's pulling from all 40 orbitals. So we'll need to find a nearby hydrogen giant to get the rest, which is going to be some work. I'm going to end up having to go home and get a bunch more orbital collectors, and then go to the nearest gas giant. We're going to be importing a ton of hydrogen. But I think we're going to start with the deuteron fuel rods. We're going to start there because we have a bunch of deuterium already over at the solar sail farm that we'd like to be consuming so that keeps going. Eventually, we'll stockpile the deuterium, the deuteron rods, and then that'll back up a while as well. The whole thing's going to be backed up until we're launching those 420 rockets per minute. And once we have that in place, then it will be a beautiful symphony. Everything will work as intended. And for many, many hours, we'll be building our Dyson Sphere with those inputs. But that's going to be it for this time. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We've taken a big step here, and we just have one more marathon to get through before we can start building our Dyson Sphere. And when we get there, I think it's going to go up pretty fast. I mean, 420 rockets per minute. That means over the course of one episode, we'll put out, what, 16,000, 17,000 rockets, maybe 20,000 rockets. That's got to be enough to really build it like a serious amount. I guess we'll find out when we get there. We'll see you next time. Take care.